So surely you've gone through some tough times.
Yeah.
What helps you get through dark times in life?
Man. Well, if there were any financial tough times, which there weren't many because I said I'd usually plan ahead, I would just learn to buckle down when I needed to, not, spend money on holidays that I couldn't afford or whatever, and scrimp and save when the time came. Those are a few hard times. When you're getting close to the wire and your wife has to go out and get a job to really make ends meet so you can have a few, extra things in life. Yeah, so I had to deal with some times like that, but there weren't many because I financially planned. But I've always had pretty good health other than the thyroid thing, but when that was fixed, I was okay there. Oh, trying to think of other harder times in life that I faced. There were a few emotional mountains that I had to climb from time to time. I relied heavily on my Heavenly Father. I relied heavily on the teachings of my Heavenly Father, particularly forgiveness. I found that whenever I was slighted by anybody in this life for whatever reason, I needed to learn to forgive and let it pass by, and then I could live a life of peace beyond that hurdle that I was getting over. Sometimes I had problems with people at work. There was one guy in particular, we never got along really well. I was working at Darlington Generating Station there, and boy, we were just butting heads for quite a while. And because what happened is I got promoted, and he didn't. Mm-hmm. And he didn't like it, and he was on my team, so I had to give him work to do and check his work, and so there were a few years there where it was hard. So I remember going to his desk. First of all, we weren't talking to each other unless it was work related. Mm-hmm. So I remember sending him a message and say, we can't go on like this way. I'd send him from my computer to his and say, let's try and, I said, I don't want to be like this. Let's try and make up, and so he read the message. He didn't respond right away, but I waited a couple of hours and I knew he had read the message. Then I went to his desk and I said, and I leaned over his desk. I said, what do you think? He said, yeah, you're right. We should just put the past behind us and let it go. And so, that was a bit of a hurdle. And so forgiveness and putting things behind you as much as possible.
Nice.
Use those kind of tactics.
What do you think that others misunderstand about dealing with hardship?
Most of it is temporary. What happens tomorrow can be completely different from today, and the sun also rises the next day. So don't give up. Don't get thoughts of, want to commit suicide and get it over with, blah. Mm-hmm. Just hang on a little bit. Things will get better. Things will get better. And if they don't get better, either it's a physical thing or whatever, then it's your lot in life that Heavenly Father gave you. Maybe it's a test that He's given you at this time to get over certain hurdles in your life. It could be physical, it could be emotional, it could be mental, So I've always looked at getting over those hurdles with Heavenly Father by my side, knowing that I can go to someone who understands and give me hope to carry on. And then in the long term, of course, if you get sick and you die and you go through that tormental problem or your spouse gets sick and you see them withering away or whatever, in my mind, there's always a reunion in the eternities, and we're never going to be without each other if we've made commitments on earth to do so, and which we do in our church and temples. So, yeah, I have hope for that, both while we're still living and certainly beyond. So I look to the beyond because we don't die in the beyond, we go on forever.